My name is Tara Muir, and I am working on a sixth grade math lesson on percentages. The class that I am teaching this to is an inclusion class where I have varying abilities and disabilities. This lesson will focus on a child with a learning disability. I have chosen to use a motivation of a class store for this project. The children will be divided into 4 groups. 2 of the groups that have 4 children in each will be store owners. They will take various items from the class and they will price them and they will apply a discount at a percentage rate to that item. The other half of the class, which are also sorted into 2 groups of 4 in each group, are the shoppers. They will have a maximum of $10 to spend at the store and will have to calculate each item with the percentages. So while the store owners are working on finding their items and pricing them and applying discounts, I am going to be working with children at various centers. So I have instructed my student with a learning disability to come to Station 1, which is a station where they will have one-on-one with me, the instructor. So the first thing we're going to do at Station 1 is we are going to work with 10 by 10 grids. And what the child is going to do is they are going to come and I am going to instruct them to first tell me how many small squares this grid is broken up into, and they will tell me 100. I will then have the child shade in 50 of the squares. They will then tell me that in a fraction amount. So they will write 50 over 100 or 1/2. Then we will discuss how 1/2 is equal to 50%. And I will begin by explaining the word percent to them. The word percent actually comes from a Latin word, per and cent meaning 100. So percent is out of 100. So there are 50 squares shaded out of the 100, so that is 50%. We will then look at other 10 by 10 grids, and the student will count them and let me know how many squares are shaded. So for this, the child will then tell me 55 of the 100 are shaded, equaling 55%. And again for here, this would be 35, or 35% of the 100 are shaded. We will then work with relating the percents to fractions, and then to how to take a fraction and turn it into a percentage. So we will work with only fractions that have an equivalent fraction, so that we can relate it to, such as 50% or like 1/2 is equal to 50%. We will discuss that the word of means to multiply. So when we have something like 50% of 200, that means 50 over 100, which is equal to half. And now we must find what 1/2 equals as a decimal. So we will divide 1 divided by 2, which will give us 5/10. 200 times 5/10 is equal to 100. And from there, once we've completed that lesson, the student will then go to Station 2, where they will work with fraction circles. And there are fraction circles as 1/2, 1/4, and tenths. And here the student will work with the fraction circles, and they will understand that 2/2 equal 1 whole, that 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 1 whole. And they will then convert the fraction to a percentage. So 1/4 You have to find the denominator. Because percent is 100, you would do 1/4 with a denominator. You have to find the denominator to equal 100. So 4 times 25 equals 100. And then whatever you do to your denominator, you must do to your numerator. So 25 times 1 is 25. 25 over 100 is equal to 25%. So every fourth is equal to 25%. And you can do the same for tenths. You would do 1/10, and then you have to get the denominator to equal 100. 10 times 10 is equal to 100. Whatever you do to your denominator, you do to your numerator. 10 times 1 is 10, so you would get 1/10. They would equal 10% each of the circle. From there, the student will then go on to station 3, where they will have various computations to solve. 50% of the number 28. So what is 50% of 28? You have to convert your percentage to a decimal and then multiply it, because of means to multiply, by whatever number you are getting the percent of. So 50% of 28, we're going to convert 50% to a decimal, which is 5/10. 28 times 5/10 is 14. 50% of 28 is 14. And then the student will then go on to work on various other problems that all have simple percentage or fractional amounts for the student with a learning disability to begin with. And from there, once I've determined that the student has sufficient confidence in themselves, they can then go shopping at the school store.